Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. So yesterday we looked at Psalm 9, and we're going to go back there again today, and a little piece about the introduction, what it could mean, and then those first two verses with those 4 I will statements. I will give thanks. I will recount all your marvelous works. I will sing. I will remember your name, O Most High. So David, speaking to us, gives us good instruction about, our attitude when things are dark. It should be, let's lean on the Lord. Let's focus on Him. And then today we come to 3 and 4, and we understand where the darkness is coming from. So let's read 3 and 4. When my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. For thou hast maintained my right and my cause. Thou satest in the throne judging right. So the enemies are turned back when they are. When they haven't been yet, but they one day will be. What enemy do you think David could be talking about here? Well, I think the enemy that he could be talking about here is death. Death is an enemy. And it's one of those enemies that everyone wrestles against. And here, the death of a son, David surely is struggling with that enemy. And he says, when my enemies are turned back, they shall fall and perish at thy presence. Well, death is going to fall at the presence of God. Death and hell are going to be cast into the lake of fire. And we're going to take a look tomorrow at Revelation chapter 20 in the great white throne. So you notice that the enemies are turned back. They fall at the presence of the Lord, not at the presence of David, but in the presence of the Lord. For thou hast maintained my right and my cause. Thou sattest in the throne judging right. So the right and the cause of the psalmist here is not because he has any right or righteousness of his own, and it's not that his cause is right, but the Lord had given David a cause. He had given him a house and sons and a throne and a kingdom, and it all was going to lead to a messianic coming. So that is the right and the cause. God gave him the right. God gave him the cause. And the Lord has maintained that. Even though bad stuff happens, and bad stuff always happens, God maintains the right of the psalmist and the cause that he gave the psalmist. Both of those come from the Lord. And then notice that he says there in verse 4, he says, you sat upon the throne. Now, it's not a throne. David has a throne. God has the throne. The Lord sat upon the throne, and the Lord sits upon a throne because he is going to judge the nations. He is the righteous judge. We are not. We sometimes think and act like we sit on a throne and that we judge righteously, but only God judges righteously. And that is why the enemies fall before him. They're not going to fall before us, no matter how hard we try. They're not going to fall before us. So God sits on the throne judging right. And as I said yesterday, or as I said that tomorrow, as I said about tomorrow, we're going to look at the great white throne judgment. And there God sits upon his throne and everything is judged. God does a declaring work there in that period. And we'll look at that tomorrow. We'll go over to Revelation chapter 20 and look at that. Okay, I hope you'll join me then as we look at verses 5 and 6 tomorrow here on Daily Dose Radio.